Hello, and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm John, the executive producer here, and I've got a few pre-show notes for you. First, a reminder. All of the content we produce is available on our website at finalshowfilms.com, as well as youtube.com/senstaku, senstaku.podbean.com, twitch.tv/senstaku, and on iTunes. We are only able to do the things we do thanks to the kind support of our Patreon donors. We give a special shout out to our $25 tier supporters, Antitonic and Waterflame. If you'd like to support us that way, be sure to check it out. Secondly, a thank you to the folks over at 411mania.com. They produce articles and content related to wrestling, MMA, movies, music, and gaming. Go check them out. We appreciate their support as well. And lastly, be sure to subscribe, comment, and rate, if possible, wherever you listen to or watch our content. It helps us know what you like, what you don't like, and helps us make more content. Feedback is always appreciated. With all that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy.
So I can leave the shit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Adventurers League Storm King's Thunder. It's actually interesting because I get to do the opposite of what Liam does to the rest of you guys with it. I'm John, the Game Master for our Adventurers League game here today, and Storm King's Thunder, and a well-rested individual after my week of vacation. And joining me today is William.
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Farron Altarian, human paladin of Ilmater, who did not get that week of vacation.
Did you swap over to the new oath?
Yes, I have replaced my oath of devotion with the oath of redemption.
All right. And also joining me today is Jeff.
Hey, I'm Jeff. I'm playing Farbolt Chance, the half-elven rogue.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I am playing Kinvalar, the Sun Elf Blade Singer. And I'm not used to looking straight ahead for the camera.
I know.
This is interesting.
It's a good look on you, though. And Aaron.
Hi, I'm Aaron. I am totally awake in here. And I'm playing Miracle, the Tiefling Druid.
And when last we left our party, it has been a while, the wizard got eaten by spiders. And
and
only was partially eaten by spiders.
Only slightly nibbled on by spiders. So, the group of adventurers encountered one Harshnag, a frost giant hero, former member of Force Grey out of Waterdeep, while adventuring around the north trying to solve their giant problem. And he decided, having been informed by Zephyros, the cloud giant they had previously spoken with and interacted with, that there were a bunch of heroes roaming around that might be important to fixing this whole issue, decided to find them, which he did, and take them to the Eye of the All-Father, a giant temple wherein lies an oracle of some kind. Upon arriving at the temple, they discovered that it was being assaulted by barbarians, by Uthgarth barbarians of the north, whom they promptly dispatched and found their way into the temple. Having explored it for a while, they found a central room with several statues depicting all of the various gods or children of Anan, which are the gods of the giant kind, also known as the first of the giants. And all of their statues had weapons, and there was a giant arc portal magical puzzle thing that they sort of half looked at and sort of decided to examine the rest of the temple before they continued. They also found a Remoraz sitting in a very hot room where they found one of the missing items of the giant gods that statues were holding, and decided to continue exploring beyond that. The wizard and rogue decided to separate from the party healers, that is the ranger and paladin, and go deep into frost and web-covered tunnels wherein they found a bunch of spiders. They dispatched the spiders that were threatening to kill them in about half the time it took for the paladin and ranger to catch up to them. The group continued to explore the caves, finding another spider, some more magical items, and another Uthgarth barbarian whom they let leave. And having completed that section of the area, they've returned to what appears to be sort of a long hallway with a bunch of bedrooms in it, sized for giants, that they exited through. So we pick back up with you all back in the room that you found the crack in the wall that led out to the spiders previously. As a reminder, this room is a These are 60-foot square chambers furnished with frost-covered stone couches that serve as beds. One of the beds in the room that you're currently in has tattered furs on it that look like they may have been a blanket or comfort or something like that.
Do we want to take a rest here? At least a
Yes.
short one. I realize we just slept like a few hours ago, but
Yeah, you're not going to benefit from a long rest currently, but you can take a short rest.
A short rest would be quite useful, please.
All right, so you guys sort of hole up in this room. You can hear Harshnag further down the hallway, just sort of examining things and maintaining sort of the location that you guys last left him in. And you guys take a short rest, so go ahead and spend hit dice to heal.
7.
And any other things that you regain in a long rest or can spend on a long rest, like our wizard's arcane recovery.
Yes. And I think my blade song too.
so given that I don't technically need to take a short rest, one, of the things a ranger can have as a companion, are there any I think I might be able to find in a cave?
Spider.
Can I have a spider?
You can have a spider.
Let me check
Well, that's
the
nice.
list thing. 'Cause
Spiders are beasts.
it's not beast. It's like a very specific short list.
Is it? I thought it was a beast under a certain challenge rating.
Nope, that is that's find familiar and shit. That's
There we go.
or summoning
Well,
magic.
let me
I
look
actually
at the
rolled
list.
really well.
Let me acquire the list. Choose a beast that is no larger than medium and has a challenge rating of 1/4 or lower. So actually, yeah, no, it's any beast that is a challenge of 1/4 or lower. Yeah, you can find spiders.
Okay.
Let me look at the list, and I'll give you the full list of things you could find in this area. You could theoretically find in this area. Specifically in this area, frost spiders are a thing you could find. Actually, frost spiders, rats, and that's pretty much it in this current area. If you go outside, you might be able to find an eagle or a hawk or something, or a wolf. Or bat. Yeah, so a bat, a spider, or a rat. Those are the three things that you could theoretically find in this area.
Rounded up. Ooh, okay, good.
Okay.
That moment where Jeremy realized he found the one thing that actually rounds up when halved.
Yeah, there are only a couple of them, but
An arcane recovery is one of them.
yes, it is.
So I don't know what the challenge rating of a frost spider is, so let's go for bat. Because I may not be able to.
I can tell you what the challenge rating of a frost spider is. Basically, it's just a spider, but has slightly different immunities.
Get my level 3 back
And also check it's not technically a monstrosity. I don't know.
It's not.
2 level 2s. Or level 1s.
Yeah, because that's part of the problem with like winter wolves are technically monstrosities.
Mm-hmm.
No, it is a beast. Challenge rating 1.
No, that's way above what I can do.
Does it not go up with your ranger level?
Nope. Sorry, guys. This is a fascinating way to start the game.
I
The
know,
ranger
right?
needs a new companion.
Yep.
Ah!
And I need to. Why are there not? I mean, there are. Why are there not bookmarks in real life? I say when I know there are bookmarks in real life. I'm thinking of a different kind of bookmark though. There it is. No, it doesn't go up. That is stupid.
Yeah, that is part of playing a ranger in 5e as it exists.
Yep.
Though
Yep.
my animal companion will get more hit points than a typical animal would, based on my ranger level. So they kind of level up with me, sort of, I guess.
Man,
Vaguely.
drow rangers must be really upset because giant spiders are challenge rating 1.
So I think a bat is less than challenge rating
Yes,
1.
a bat is most definitely.
If a bat wasn't, I was going to put in a protest vote.
A bat is challenge rating 0.
Bat is challenge rating
So.
0.
I need
A
some.
giant. You could get a giant bat. A giant bat is challenge rating 1/4.
Okay, I'm going to ritual cast locate animals, looking for a giant bat.
You find a giant bat.
Okay, Miracle's gonna wander off and go make friends with the giant bat.
You make friends
I
with
like
a giant bat.
I like the idea that you summon the bat there, and then the party all freaks out and kills the bat.
We'll see. I haven't actually made friends yet, but I take like an hour and
Yeah, no. You over the course of the short rest, you make friends with the bat, and it has a name if you care, or you can rename it.
the bat can have its own name, but it's a friend bat now.
All right, and it is in your journal. His name is Frostwing.
Cool. Ooh, bats have blind sight.
They do.
Sorry.
And I will put that over here, and I will get a token for it later. Anyways.
Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, Miracle sort of drifts off and returns to the party with a fairly large. I think they'll not.
How
that-
big are they?
They are
large.
They are large. I'm stretching that rule because I can.
A large-sized mechanically bat.
Yep.
So a bat that's bigger than he is.
Just
I mean, it's probably a bat that is as big as you are. It's just a large size because of the wingspan.
yeah, it's roughly the size of Miracle, basically, with a massive with a 10-foot wingspan. It could carry Miracle. No one else. So
I
you
guess
have
the dwarf is in full play.
you all. There's no
Dwarf?
dwarf in the party.
Oh.
Human.
Wait, we don't have it. William
We-
isn't playing a dwarf. That's weird.
We left the dwarf
in-
behind a long time ago.
You know that the dwarf was Flint, whom you wouldn't let ride your bat anyways.
Yeah.
I would hope not. That seems like that would be animal cruelty. Not because of the writing, just because of
Flint.
Flint.
yeah.
So you have all
I made
taken
friends.
a short rest.
Ah,
Miracle's rat bat.
that is certainly a creature.
Yeah, so you made a new friend.
It's basically like Golbat just sort of sitting behind Miracle.
Is it like have wings folded up around it like a Golbat? Just
Flashback to Pokemon caves. No.
Zubats everywhere. So yes, you are all rested, and there's now a bat.
All right. What is? We have somewhere.
You guys were just exploring, so
Yeah,
do you want to continue up the hallway, or what?
that seems to be a good idea.
Let's see if there's anything else in these bedrooms, and just be careful, I guess. I mean,
Always careful.
Of course.
All right.
Do anything silly.
Let me see.
I will head out and start heading back down the hallway.
All right. So you guys get out and continue. Go ahead and keep moving, and as you move, I will tell you what you find.
Did we reach the end of this hallway?
No, you have not. It still goes on for quite a while. So is everyone is moving out into the hallway, or are some of you hanging back?
Yes, I'm just trying to figure out how many additional hit points I get for my ranger companion. So just ignore me for a little bit.
That's fine. Fyron, are you moving out into the hallway as well?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't see where I'm at right now.
You're-
But
Try to
here,
find
I will.
yourself.
Womp bump. There you go.
there we go.
All right, so you all move out into the hallway and continue moving around. Yeah, these other two rooms are just more bedrooms.
Okay.
And as Kinvalar steps back out, now hold for a moment. As the two of you step a little bit further down, you feel sort of a magical pulse around you. And all of you hear the sound of stone slamming as these archways that sort of showcase the bedrooms slam shut with walls of stone, sealing off the bedrooms. And you hear what sounds like stone grinding on stone from further down the hallway you're currently in.
Well, that's not good.
Look, Kinvlog, did you do that? Or
I
did
didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
Look at the ground. Do I see any trying to trigger or anything?
No, you don't see anything. You guys just continue standing there?
Hold on, let me look at my spell list. I'm feeling really dumb. Guessing greater visibility on myself,
All right.
and I'm venturing ahead to see if I can get an idea of what it is, and then come back to
So
report.
just so that I know order of operations, everyone roll initiative for me real quick.
Okay.
I don't like the sound of that. My initiative is 0.
Sounds good.
18.
I'm also rolling for Frostwing.
All right. Okay. So Kinvalar, you step forward.
Yep. How badly do I die?
You can walk to your full movement up.
Before you die.
You don't see anything as of yet. You just hear the sound of stone grinding on stone. What's your vision radius?
My full movement was, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So
Sorry, yeah, just dark vision.
Yeah. So at this point, you can't quite. Yeah. You can't. How far ahead can you see?
I can see to
60 feet, I
right
think?
there.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, you get a sense that just because it's still completely darkness, but for just judging by where these stone walls came up, and you can sort of see the difference in walls, you can tell that there is what may have been another sealed off archway over here. But again, all the bedrooms have been closed off.
Okay.
And at initiative 14, which is before the bat.
It is before both me and my animal companion, yes.
The bat who? Oh no, this one. You see.
Wait.
Sorry, initiative count 15. You see a 40-foot diameter sphere of granite phase through the northern wall. That you can't quite see the northern wall, but you can definitely see the boulder as it phases through, as it sort of appears in your vision, rolling 200 feet down the corridor.
Run!
Look! Right onto everyone.
Run!
So I need dexterity saving throws from Kinvalar, Farbolt, Miracle, and Fyron. Miracle and Fyron, as you guys just sort of hear stone grinding on stone, and then see this massive boulder rolling down this slightly inclined hallway, as I'll remind you all.
So,
I mean,
add
mere
2 to that to
instance
make it
before
17.
that. Mere instance before that shouted, "Run, run, run!"
Yeah, you hear run, 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 and then boulder. So dexterity saving goes to everyone. Your shield is added to your dexterity saving throw, I believe, Firen?
Yes, that makes it 17.
All
I can't actually add that save, but
Unnatural 20.
All right. So everyone succeed.
Great.
Well, let's get the bat to roll too. Actually, the bat
Oh,
the bat can fly
you said
above it.
Firen.
The bat can fly above
Didn't
it, so
say
it's not.
frostbite.
That's
I
right.
was
The
gonna
bat
say.
can also fly above it, so it's unaffected.
20.
All of you get out of the way through use of your shield to sort of bounce yourself off, and the rest of you just throwing yourselves into the corners where because it is a sphere, it doesn't fully encompass the hallway, and you get out of the way as this giant boulder rolls past, and you hear it slam at the far end of the hallway.
if we still took half damage, I was going to ask if I could
You didn't take
impose
any
my
damage.
shield and not take damage.
No, you didn't take any damage. It's
Well-
it's save or damage, and you all did not.
Where the hell did that come from?
You hear more stone on stone from behind you now.
Behind?
Yeah,
Like in the direction of the boulder.
Yeah,
The boulder has definitely stopped.
in the direction of the boulder. Well, you can't tell if the boulder has definitely stopped, but you definitely heard it hit something.
That boulder either stopped and there's something else moving down there, or it just smashed through the wall and kept going.
Could somebody check?
I will go and look.
That's not a boulder. That is not a boulder.
You turn around and you start moving back, and you see the boulder coming back, but very slowly.
It's being
Oh,
pushed up by a giant. I'm going to get out of the way.
Yeah, we
I think-
also have a giant friend who is actually standing there.
Yeah, I think that might be harsh neck.
So
I'm gonna get out of the way.
The bedrooms are still closed off, but you guys can
Oh.
sort of squeeze into those corners that you ducked into previously. It's moving slow enough that you don't have to make a saving throw, and you see that giant statue that was just sort of standing there previously, pushing this boulder back up.
Ah! Trap reset mechanism.
Well, that is definitely a thing.
Do we want to get out of this hallway?
So you see it push up, and it takes this boulder up to the far northern wall. Kindler, you're close enough you can see. And it just pushes the boulder back into the wall, and the wall just sort of phases it back through. And then it turns around and just continues walking all the way back to its platform.
While the statue's still walking, Kinvlar, is there anything
Yeah, I'm
still
going-
up there?
Well, I'm actually going to see if I can follow the wall or follow the statue.
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah, you can
So,
follow it up.
just sends it to the wall.
These things are all the rooms are still closed off, but yeah, you can get up to the wall.
Reach out and touches the wall. Actually, there is. It's simply
actually
an
there.
illusionary.
It's actually
Okay.
there.
And the doors are all still shut.
Yep, and the statue is still walking back.
Yeah, the wall just spits boulders.
More rooms. Yeah. Come back. And the disembodied voice is like, there are some more rooms up there. I obviously cannot see what is inside, because the doors are closed. And the place where it came from was the wall,
And
which is a wall.
and roughly the time Kinvar finishes saying that, the statue gets back to its position, turns around, sits down, or sort of stands back where it was, and the walls drop.
So is that going to happen again if we head further up?
That
is
seems like the purpose
possibility.
of such a thing.
Okay, so we need to either not trigger whatever it is,
or duck into the rooms when it happens.
The problem is when we duck into the rooms,
We're locked in there.
we're locked in there until the trap is reset.
I have an idea, but first the question might be, can we just find the trap mechanism and design?
Yes, that might be our best bet.
Give me your perception checks. Anyone that wants to look.
Yeah, I'm looking
I
around
roll
here.
17.
20.
Also 20.
Oh, wait, 4.
Unnatural 20.
Far below 20. None of you can see any sort of trap mechanism.
Magic.
Uh,
Kinvalar, can you sense magic?
that is not one of my spells, no.
Darn.
I can't, but I have an idea. So, one possibility is that this would only activate with walking, but I don't want to test that if we can't find the mechanism because I just got a new friend. The other idea is we trip the giant and or like put stakes in the giant's shoes so it can't go reset the boulder.
I'm not sure how easy it
the
will...
statue. It's a stone statue. If we can find a way to restrict it, it'd be very impressive.
I mean, and I don't know how easy it would be to trip a statue. But we could... I mean...
really, really strong if you use a lot of layers of it. And the thing seems pretty simple-minded, so we just pin the rope across the hole. You're looking at me like I'm crazy. Again.
It's certainly worth a shot. I don't have high hopes for success.
Only really need to bind
That,
one leg.
or we make friends with something that can tunnel through the rooms.
There's still more besides this hallway that we've...
Yeah, there are stairs that go up in this section.
I mean, here's my concern. The only thing, obviously, you don't generally trap something that is not
worth protecting.
Traveling. That said,
I don't know. There are some wizards I've met.
Yeah. That said, all I saw were 2 more rooms that were spaced the same as the rest of these rooms.
Maybe
So
they're like important people bedrooms.
Either we make a
Would that
dash
be a
for those
thing?
rooms. When the trap sets, we'll be locked in the room until it resets. That's we're looking at worst case scenario. Well, actually, worst case scenario is everything comes crumbling down and we die. But if this trap just resets,
Kinvalar, is there anything your familiar might be able to see about the mechanism? Because Relix can see
Perhaps, yes. That's a good point.
obviously not going too far off.
Roll me a perception check for Relix.
Yep. Uh, 19?
Relix looks at the area, looks back at you, and if a cat could give a sarcastic, "There's nothing there," that's what the cat gives you.
I mean, a sarcastic "there's nothing there" would indicate that there's something there.
There's nothing there.
Okay. Nope, we're good.
The sarcasm is less in the statement and more in the "you can see this with your own eyes too."
Not if it's invisible. Well, I mean, we haven't gone back further than we were when the trap was triggered, so Farbolt and I might actually be past the trigger point at this point. Everybody prep in case.
Prep yourself to jump into one of the rooms.
Yes.
I just kind of like get as low down into one of the corners that the boulder couldn't quite pass into as possible.
I mean, you could actually walk into the rooms.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what
but
Miracle's gonna do. He's
the
just gonna walk into a room.
The problem with that one is if you two do manage to get into a room and you get locked in and there's something inside that wants to eat your face, I'll be even further away.
You have a telepathic animal companion. Just leave
It'll be
relics
fine.
with us
It'll be fine.
and let us know if something goes wrong.
All right, just you all let me know when you are ready.
I'm about as
Yeah.
ready as I'll be
Never.
able to be.
I'm gonna move up to.
You've got good berries.
I can also heal
I've-
myself.
I've still got healing potions.
All right. Boop.
So, as Kinvalar steps forward,
Both step forward.
as Kinvalar and Firebolt both step forward in unison, the doorways to the bedrooms slam up with walls of stone. Miracle, you're sealed off. I need everybody. I need the three that are still in the hallway to roll initiative again.
I was already preset in one of the places where the boulders wasn't able to reach.
Roll with advantage then.
Okay.
5.
19.
Well, this was just
Well,
a this
21.
was initiative, not dexterity saves.
Oh, sorry. Initiative again.
Nat 1. So it gives me 5.
Wait, initiative.
Initiative is still 2.
Yeah, initiative again because this is the mechanism is being triggered again. All right, so you all hear stone grinding. Kinvalar, nothing has happened yet.
Okay.
Are you waiting?
Boop.
Okay. So you're waiting. Effectively, you step forward. At initiative 15, the boulder once again phases through the northern wall. None of you can see, and travels to there. So now I need all three of you to give me dexterity saves, and yes, Firen, you get advantage on the dex save because you're prepared for it.
Can we use the one that I've already made?
Can I not use the one I already made?
Either you all keep the one you already made, or you all re-roll.
I just rolled 1.
I'm
so
fine either way.
This is.
I rolled a 17. It's fine.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead and re-roll.
Okay.
All right, you
17.
all managed to throw yourselves into a corner and fire, and you were already prepared. You just let it roll over your shield, basically, and it rolls all the way down, and you hear it slam, presumably into the giant again.
And I keep going.
I'm gonna
this
gonna
point.
keep moving up to
Alright.
this to this alcove.
You keep
where-
going. The alcoves are all still closed off.
I'm getting up to there.
You get up to there. The alcove is still closed off.
Yep, and we
Oh,
will
there's-
wait.
I think I'm gonna do the same thing and move up further.
Yeah.
to the
While
farthest
the giant is heading back, while the giant statue is heading back up the wall, I'm gonna catch up to Kinvalar.
Sure. So yeah, you all sit up there and wait. Eventually, the giant statue moves up, and you all see it push the boulder through the wall, and then moves back. It eventually reaches all the way back to its spot, sinks back in. Not that any of you can see it, and as it sets back in, the walls drop again.
Meanwhile, Miracle is getting his brain eaten by a mind flare in the room, right?
No. The walls drop, and you guys look in and see two more rooms with beds.
We actually had already checked the room I'm in.
That doesn't mean that something couldn't pop in.
That is true.
You
That is true.
see two more rooms with beds. These definitely have furs on them.
I'm going to go inside,
Yep.
Step inside.
and I'm going to start searching the room.
Give me an investigation check.
All right, I am good at these.
I'm gonna search this room as well.
23.
Give me an investigation check, Farbolt.
I step into the
I'm
room as
less
well.
good at this.
You
be out of the
find
way.
you find two large couch-like shelves that have furs on them.
Stupid giants. I hate you so much.
I love this setting. I love this temple so much.
All right.
You gotta think what giant is going to be using these rooms. Like, oh yeah,
I think the craziest part is these are people's bedrooms. Do they have to dodge this ball every time they want to go to bed?
Well,
I mean, it's a magical trap. The
You-
trap might just be set to kill non-giants.
so Harshnag, having heard a lot of commotion, is coming up the hallway.
Miracle's sitting in one of the bedrooms,
Yeah,
messing with the arrows.
looks over. You see Harshnag lean in. Where are the rest of your companions?
They went boulder chasing.
And he continues to walk. And he eventually gets up to where the rest of you guys are and looks down.
Oh,
See?
hello.
oh,
Triggered to kill non-giants.
sure.
Have you found anything?
We found that this temple doesn't like us.
I mean, it is designed to keep non-giant kind out, so...
Yes, that makes an amount of sense. There's a boulder trap that apparently only triggers when non-giants are in these halls.
Then you should not trigger it again, then.
Can we get a lift?
I mean, it's worked out well for us so far.
Fair enough.
Can we get a lift, Harshnag?
No. And he walks back down the hallway.
I try and keep
Fine.
up with him to see if the boulder comes back while I'm standing next to him.
That is fair.
He does not pick people up.
I wait until he heads back.
Let me read.
Because even if it does come back, Harshnag is probably bigger than the boulder and can just catch it.
Let me see something real quick.
Step out and kind of sit near the alcove.
So yeah, is Fyron the only one keeping up with Harshnag, or is somebody else doing it as well?
It can't hurt.
Yeah, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to
Right.
chase after him.
So Harshnag steps through this area that you guys sort of have an idea of where the trap is, and as Fyron steps into it, these walls again close, and there's
Harshnag.
there is
Incoming.
a stone grinding sound. Harshnag turns around and looks as this boulder. I'm not gonna make you guys roll because Harshnag's right there. The boulder sort of, and Harshnag just puts out a hand and he skids a little bit, but he's more than strong enough to stop the boulder. I see. Perhaps you all should continue on.
That might be a good idea. There's going to be a statue coming along the way, presumably to reset the boulder.
He turns and just starts pushing the boulder back up the hill.
Or that. And I make my way down the hallway.
Yeah, let's keep going down.
Yep.
And yeah, so you all continue down. He seems to be able to push the boulder back into whatever holding thing it's in.
Actually, I'm still trapped in the room. Never mind.
And as he does, the walls fall down again.
Blink. We ready to go check out something that isn't the bedroom?
Yeah, I think that was kind of a bust.
Harshnag continues back. That is a strange trap. I don't know why it's here.
You know, if you're in these rooms, you're trying to sleep, and suddenly boulder comes barreling down the hallway.
I don't know if you would know, or would it be those bedrooms on the end are for more important people or something?
No, it seems solely designed to crush people who aren't giants. These are simply waste stops. The important rooms would be above, upstairs.
Yeah.
So
He sort of heads back down, and he sort of heads back into the statue room while you guys continue exploring.
Miracle's gonna head towards the stairs if no one has objections or other directions.
Yeah. I think we should head upstairs if we want to poke around. That's where the important people go.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Upstairs is this way, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
there are stairs on both sides of the giant statue, which you guys now see is just sort of standing in place again. Perfectly normal.
Well, unless there's like a labeling on the staircases that I forgot about, I'm going up this one.
Yep. Nope. There's no labeling.
Okay.
So does everyone go up the same staircase, or are you
Stealth.
guys looking at other ones, or what?
I
Not
will
gonna do me
follow.
much good, but
I think it'd
mean-
be best to stick together at this point.
Yeah, if
And-
people want to stealth, I kind of need to go last because that's not a thing that I can do. But
you act like it's something I can do, but
actually,
Do you want me to take point?
I only have a -1 to my stealth now because I'm wearing the mithril full plate.
Right. You don't have disadvantage.
Yep.
Everyone who wants
Wait a
to
minute.
stealth, roll me stealth.
I mean, I still have a -1 to my stealth, but
Right.
Try to do this as sneakily as possible.
8.
9.
30.
24.
So, Farbold and Kinvalar, you guys are just sort of moving along quietly, watching your step, making sure not to do anything. Miracle has a screeching bat following him, and firing is firing.
Like the plate armor might not creak just by motion, but it's still metal armor, and I'm not walking lightly.
Yeah. And Miracle has a giant bat, which makes it hard to be quiet or unseen. But the four of you move up the stairs. Stop moving yourselves.
Oh, sorry.
I have to move you. And find yourselves in the upstairs area. The upstairs hallway is structurally similar to the hallway below, except that as you guys step in, you notice that there is not. There is still a statue at one end. But this one, rather than being a male stone giant like was below, this one is a female cloud giant wearing an angry mask. Her arms are positioned in such a way that it looks like she's preparing to cast a spell, but it is still just a statue.
I want to inspect this statue. This seems very detailed and specific for a statue, and the last one came to life. So
Sure. Give me an investigation roll.
Looking at the statue, looking directly
7.
It's a statue.
with my back to the statue, what's down the hallway?
Hallway.
Do you see any scorch marks or anything?
None that you can see. Give me an investigation check, but
I want to take a look at this statue. I'm very suspicious after the last one.
I think the last one was a stone giant, and a giant boulder came running down. This one's a cloud giant, you said?
Yep.
Um,
you don't see any scorch marks or anything.
If this is just the girls' dormitory, we're going back and solving the goddamn puzzle in the main room. Because this is not worth it.
I mean, I'm having a good time.
I mean, I also enjoy watching certain members of the party get blown up over and over again, but I don't think Kimvalar has enough hit points for that.
That's what good berries are for.
Speaking of, is anyone injured at all from any of these boulders? Has everyone made their way out?
I'm good.
I stayed in the room.
I'm fine.
Good, good. Kinvalar, can you take a look at this statue?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm confused for a moment. My computer monitor has suddenly gone black and white.
Oh.
And it's weird.
Oh.
Everything is fine, but everything is black and white.
Well, I mean,
Just your
I will go.
assistive technology settings?
it doesn't matter if it's black or white, but, you know. Hey, that's a Michael Jackson song. Come on.
I know. One of his shittiest songs. Well, shittiest singles. Yes, I will check out this statue thing. Investigation.
Yeah, give me a investigation check.
Come on. Roll, damn you. 16.
It appears to be a statue.
Nothing special.
I mean, we thought that of the last statue too. I'm fairly certain something's going to happen with this thing.
As far as you can tell, the statue is inanimate and harmless.
That doesn't put me at ease.
I said that to say the last one was a stone giant and a boulder came rolling down the hallway. This one's a cloud giant. If something comes down the hallway, it'll be a lot flashier.
Stinking cloud, gaseous. There are any number of spells that could... Gas-related spells.
Does the significance of the cloud giant with a mask mean anything to me? I don't know a whole lot about cloud giant history.
I mean,
but...
I'm thinking poison.
I was doing tons of giant research. Would I know anything about that?
Give me a history check.
13.
As far as the two, you can tell it seems like it's mostly just decoration. You don't think there's... It might be a signifier of some sort of magical trap, but there's nothing that you can think of for giant culture that it would be representative of.
Okay. Well, I suppose the only way to deal with this trap is to stumble into it, so...
I'll stay out here. Don't worry, I'll shoot anything it summons.
So, you guys move down the hallway, I'm assuming. And as you do, you see more of these alcoves, these 60-foot square alcoves that have large frost-covered benches that have furs on them.
So, interesting story. Apparently in Windows 10, if you press Windows, Control, and C at the same time, although I didn't know that I did that, it turns on a color filter.
Nice.
And the default is grayscale, which I guess is better than if I had it on invert. At which point I would have been very confused. So sorry.
Miracle sort of stands off to one side, and you guys, I'm assuming, are moving down the hallway.
Yep.
Are you intending to go all the way down and looking in through each room as you go?
That's my goal.
I will, sure.
So
Hugging the
I'm
wall.
shortcutting some stuff, but yeah. So empty rooms. By the time you get to the third set, the one on the right has what seems to be a large stitched leather sack on one of the beds.
What is in the sack? Precious.
Now,
Are you going into the room? Because Kidwaller is not immediately going into the room.
I'll first take a look in the room, kind of make like perception or investigation check to look to see if there's anything fishy.
Either one.
Let's go with perception. 25.
Seems to be a bag
On the bed.
on the bed. There's not really anything else in the room.
Looks good to me, and I'll walk in.
You walk in.
Yeah. We're gonna die.
Right. So you walk in, and yeah, there's just this large bag on the bed. You grab it and open it up.
Climb up there, and yep.
So inside the bag, you find, well, the first thing that brings your attention are 3 severed, frozen dwarf heads. 2 male, 1 female. One of which has several golden teeth in it. You also find what appears to be a very well-crafted scimitar. What appears to be a very well crafted scimitar, in a ornately designed sheath that has the symbol for what's the goddess of the moon? Saloon?
Saloon.
Yeah, has the symbol of Salune in the hilt, sort of engraved in the hilt.
Thrist, what did you do?
Okay. That'd be Maliki.
That'd
Oh,
be
he,
Maliki.
he has the moon sword as well, the one that glows in the dark.
No, that's not a Maleki sword. He has Icebrand and something else, but yeah.
Yeah, Icing Death and Twinkle.
Twinkle,
is a,
that's it.
is a Salune weapon, I believe.
That's right.
Yeah,
For a
Twinkle is-
second there, I had forgotten that he had a sword named Twinkle.
That's right. There is a sort of a simple, what appears to be clockwork pendant. A particularly sturdy looking book. A horn of some kind. And a shard of ice that is roughly the size of a dagger, with a symbol, with the sort of one of the runes that was on the wall, the one that was indicated to be Is, or the ice rune, sort of inside the shard of ice.
Take those things as like walking back. I will toss the scimitar at Kinvalar, going,
Yep.
"Hey, you might like this."
I'll catch it. I'm going to give it a look over.
Do you draw it?
I'm going to examine the outside of it and try and get an Arcana roll
Sure, give me an
before
Arcana
I
roll.
potentially pull a cursed sword out of it.
Give me an Arcana roll.
13.
Well,
Yep, it's a sword.
it's a scimitar that has the mark of Saloon, which typically is not applied to cursed weapons. Cursed weapons typically don't have any sort of designator. They want you to draw
Unless
them.
it's just that sneaky.
Yeah, it's true. It could be that sneaky.
If I was going to make a cursed sword in Faerun, I would put frickin' Mister's symbol on it.
It's true.
Because any idiot's going to be like, oh, well, then clearly it's fine. Thump.
Or you might-
Look, I'm undead now.
or you
Question.
might
In
make a
Faerun, doesn't that
rune of
anger the
protection.
very easy to anger gods?
Meh.
If you're making a cursed weapon, you typically don't care about that.
Yeah. Okay, so
Okay.
I will go ahead and draw the sword.
So yeah, you draw the sword, and as you do, it
Make a death saving throw.
no. As it comes out of the sheath, it begins to shed moonlight, creating bright light in a 15-foot radius and dim light for an additional 15 feet.
Hey, it's a moon sword.
It is a moon-touched
Oh
sword.
my lord!
It is not. No. It is a moon touch sword. It is not a moon sword because that is a moon blade, and those are very different
Yeah.
things.
Those are very different things.
Those are terrifying things.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, in darkness, this unsheathed blade of the sword sheds moonlight, creating a bright light in a 15-foot radius and dim light for an additional 15 feet.
Hey, look, I have a new scimitar. I'm not gonna name it Twinkle.
It is considered a magical weapon.
Yes. Excellent. I literally just started to put the sword in, and the first thing I started doing is typing Twinkle. It's early.
There was also in the bag, there was a shard of ice that has the Ise rune sort of embedded inside of it.
That would be far. Be having that in hand, just kind of looking at that as he walks.
A spellbook. A spellbook that is untouched by the frost of the bag and the world around it. And a horn. And a amulet a small copper amulet containing tiny interlocking gears.
You're just making full use of that common magic items table, aren't you?
Why not?
Because they're awesome.
I mean, I tried to do that in Nebron, and the group completely avoided the room in question.
So, and you all can see that Firebolt is sort of holding this chunk of ice that's roughly the size of a dagger as well.
And I am going to. Well, can I examine it? See
Sure,
if
give
I
me
can
an Arcana check.
get as good as that will be. Okay, at 12.
It is definitely magical. It probably requires identifying or attunement to discover the full extent of its capabilities.
And hold up the rest of the Kinvalar, the pendant and the horn. It's like, any idea what these things are?
I can take a look at them.
Give me
Give
Arcana.
It's kinda cool.
Give me four. There are 4 other items to identify. Give me 4 Arcana checks.
1, 2, 3, 4. A 15, a 24, a 13, and a 21.
So which one do you want to use your 15 on? There's a book. There's a book, an amulet, a horn, and the shard of ice.
Amulet and shard. Amulet 24, shard of ice 21, and then I'm assuming a 15 and a 13 isn't going to help much. So yeah, I don't. Whichever book and
Horn.
So which one of the book and horn gets the 13?
book it's a 15.
Okay, book gets 15. All right. So the horn, you sort of look at it and you sort of put it up to your mouth and go, and nothing happens. And sort of looking at it and the magic on it, you've determined that this is a horn of silent alarm.
Okay.
This horn has 4 charges. When you use an action to blow it, one creature of your choice can hear the horn's blare, provided the creature is within 600 feet of the horn and not deafened. No other creature can hear sound coming from the horn. The horn regains 1d4 expended charges daily at dawn. I'll be putting this in a thing, but the 15 on the spellbook lets you know that it is a enduring spellbook. Basically, when you can use it as a spellbook and it can't be damaged. It can't be damaged by fire, immersion in water, and it doesn't deteriorate with age, which explains why it's untouched by the frost of the room.
Right.
The clockwork amulet is a clockwork amulet. It's powered by Mechanus, and once per day you can just take 10 on a dice roll. And it is
on an attack roll.
When you make an attack roll wearing the amulet, you can forego rolling a d20 and get a 10 on the die. And it is per day, not per long rest. It regains its use at the next dawn.
Hey, Kinvalar, you want something to counteract those bad rolls every now and then?
Or give it to Fyron, who also has bad rolls on rolls he might
You
not
can-
want them.
Yeah.
And finally, the shard of ice is indeed some sort of magical thing that requires attunement. You can't quite ascertain the full breadth of its powers until someone attunes to it, but you imagine that it's on theme with ice.
Yes.
Would you describe it as a crystal shard?
No,
God.
it is a shard
please,
of
no.
it is a shard of ice, not a shard of crystal.
It can cast fireball.
Yes.
Do anyone mind if I keep this ice shard?
No, not at all.
And whoever, Kinvalar, I suppose you'd make most out of the spell book.
Yes, probably out of us, I would imagine so.
And it's like, who wants the pendant? Who wants the horn?
Well.
Well, Miracle, a horn of alarming people in specific might be useful for you as a scout.
Miracle is far away, but answers, yeah, and it's less useful than the pendant, so I'll take that one, please.
Right, I forgot Miracle wasn't in the room with us.
Sorry.
You guys are in the hallway. It's very easy to call down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. In that case, sure, whatever.
Which I guess leads me to take the pendant.
All right. So, are you guys are you taking a short rest to attune to this shard, Firebolt, or are you guys continuing? on?
Not at the moment.
Okay. So you guys, and as you guys continue on down the hall, you see that the end of this hallway has collapsed, and there doesn't seem to be anything else in this area.
Okay.
So whatever little protection they had is probably a lot more powerful than that stone giant thing.
That's a fair
Head
bet.
down.
So you guys head back.
Head back. Is there
And
Does the staircase from both sides loop up to this place, or does the
yes,
staircase on the right?
it appears to. Yes, the other staircase on the right hand side goes down from where you're at.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
That's fine. So, you guys head back downstairs?
Yep.
And I'm assuming back into the statue room?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. So, yeah, you guys come back into the statue room where Harshnag is just sort of hanging out and chilling and waiting for you guys.
So, how long did it seem like it'd been since that bag was placed there?
It's been there for a while.
Okay. Maybe someone just left their stuff when they left, or
Also, Farbolt, did you keep the dwarf heads that had gold teeth?
No.
Did you take the
I
teeth out?
wouldn't. No, I'm not that hard up for money.
Okay. So you leave them there. Just checking. Because each tooth is worth 1 gold.
imagine like buying something from random peasants with gold teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens. All right. So you
For when
guys,
you want to be a dick to the civilians.
pretty much, yeah.
I mean, it happens mostly in Switzerland, but
Oh.
So you
I'm a
guys-
terrible person.
You guys are back in the main room.
Uh-huh. All right. Where to go from here? I legitimately.
We need to actually solve the puzzle that we were working on. So,
Yes.
did we return the hammer to the statue or whatever?
Yes.
It was returned to the frost giant statue. So all the like stone frost fire giant, they all have weapons now.
Yes.
Oh, got weapons now. Do all the weapons look like they're removable in that way, or?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Still
there's
think if
one
you- if what-
one founder per giant race. They're
And-
all offering their things. They all have the accurate weapons according to Harshnag, correct?
Yes. And Harshnag is currently standing next to Thrym, the frost giant.
It wasn't like this one has a boulder, this one should have a spear instead, or something like that.
Correct.
I still think you have to give an offering of the weapon up to God.
You said the hands were open. Do they look like they'd be able to hold the weapons?
Theoretically. So basically, Anam has his hands forward and like palms up, pointing towards the archway. And then all of the giants are offering their weapon to Anam.
Okay. I
So I still think
don't
if you give an offering of a weapon up to Anam, this would be something that, you know, the size of these
Yeah,
weapons.
what I'm concerned about is I think that, like, if that is the answer, it seemed like that would be something where it's, like, specific to who's trying to enter, and none of us are giants.
But Harshnag is here.
Um,
I mean, these
That-
weapons are huge. I mean, and they're made out of stone, so they're not exactly something.
No, they're made out of metal.
They're metal, but
yeah,
still, they're
yeah.
really large.
Yeah, they are large.
This would be something that
Mhm.
would be for a giant to be able to do.
It is a giant's temple.
Yeah, no, I'd imagine that the temple is correctly sized for the people that live in it or go worship here. Worshipped here. Sorry, it's early.
Does the statue of Aman, does it swivel?
No, Anam, and no.
I don't know.
Are the like tremors in the ground accurate?
Yeah,
So a lot of them seem to center around this statue, correct? The one.
yeah, that's Anam. Yes.
Can I like investigate the grounder and see if it seems like those cracks indicate that there's something underneath here, or
Sure. Give me an investigation
that
check.
this descends, something like that?
Sure. Give me an investigation check. Also, your magic items should now all be in your journals.
Cool. Wait, that's intimidation. Investigation, 15.
15.
I'm just trying to like determine the kind of
Yeah.
stone.
It appears to be cracks that have developed with age, likely from the weight of the statue. You imagine that the statue is quite heavy. Some of them appear to be cracks that have been like scarring that has happened from battles that may have happened in here, potentially with the Remoras that was in the room to the south. But yeah.
There's no like current or airflow or something that I might.
No, it doesn't seem like there's anything underneath them. At least not that you can tell.
And this might be a lost cause, but does the statue look like it's heavy enough to have caused these without additional weight, or?
Yes.
Okay. What archways are being gestured to? Sorry.
So Anam is gesturing towards the archway that has the runes around it.
I'm just gonna like try and. I never actually got to look at the runes, so I'm
Sure.
gonna try and.
Investigation check.
Because I do speak giant, if that helps any.
It certainly does.
I am also. Linguist lets me decipher codes and stuff, not necessarily magical runes, but 14.
So yeah, the archway has sort of going around it. Haug, which is the sort of the hill giant symbol. Haug, which means hill. Stein, which means stone. Is, which means frost. Ild, which means fire. Sky, which means cloud. And Uvar, which means storm.
Sky, which means cloud. Languages. Like sort of coming up in that order.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that could be instructions, like. That is the order from the ordning, but that could also be like the order you have to place the things.
Here, I actually have a handout that I can show you guys of the archway. It's actually not. Sorry, it's not in that order, but it does look like this.
Actually, Farble, you found like an ice thing, right?
Yeah, just gotta pull it out.
Could you try and touch the frost statue, see if that activates or something?
Sure. Walk over, touch the shard to the frost statue.
You should see a handout in chapter 4 of the Chosen Path in your journal that shows the ruins as they exist on the archway.
Okay.
Sorry, what was Farbolt doing?
Miracle asked me to touch the shard to the ice shard to the frost statue.
You touch it.
Yep.
Nothing happens.
Like something in me wonders if that's a key. Maybe not, but. Well, you can try your thing.
We might have to do. It might just be one, or we might have to offer them up in succession.
Kinvalar and Miracle, give me intelligence saving throws, please.
Okay.
With proficiency if you don't have them. Just basically an intelligence roll with proficiency.
I am proficient.
Yeah.
Proficient
22.
intelligence would be 20.
So you were vocalizing out loud, I'm assuming. the thought process. And something that sort of rings out to both of you as you're sitting here watching was the idea of an offering. And of you sort of look at the statues. The statues are offering weapons to Anam. Each weapon coincides with a specific type of giant, and Anam is indicating the archway. Which would seem the only thing that's movable here are the weapons, which to you seems sort of clicks in place. Giant using weapon indicating runes. The runes line up with the giants, the weapons line up with the giants, but the only thing that can move between this whole transaction are the weapons.
So either move the weapons to the Anam statue, or maybe move the weapons to open the door. Like
that's what you're thinking.
Weapon
like
on door.
Yeah, the line of intent seems to go from giant to door. Like if you were to plot a course between these two, between everything that would going on, it would be a straight line from giant to door via vector of weapon.
Yep, that's my instinct, but
that's sort of what the two of you have come to in looking at this puzzle.
Well, I mean, worst case scenario, we try the wrong thing and the puzzle explodes and we have to fight or die or something. Let's try it.
I mean, yes, that
possibly
would
go
be
wrong?
the worst.
Let's go for it. What could possibly go wrong?
I believe he just said what could possibly go wrong.
So, try them in order, specific order. Go up the ordning, down the ordning.
Well,
Start with the frost giant.
I mean, that third one's my thought, but
Yeah, that's probably. What the hell? Why not?
So what are you doing or asking Harshnag to do?
So start with the axe.
And do what?
I think the first instinct was see if having the axe you can open the door.
All right, so Harshnag reaches out, grabs the axe from Thrym, just sort of holds it, and walks up to the archway.
I'll get out of the way.
Just holding it, the archway still is basically, it's just sort of a mist, and Harshnag just sort of puts a hand through the mist, and just solid wall behind this. Pulls it back.
Try with the axe.
Puts the axe forward into the mist.
Probably
You hear the ting as the axe hits the wall behind it.
Does the Lord Anam need to hold these weapons? I don't know.
That could be. Yeah, that might be the next thing. Right.
Right.
He moves over, puts the axe in Anam's hand. Nothing seems to happen. Takes it back.
Where?
I'm keeping an eye on the runes just to see if anything happens to activate them.
The runes
what
do not
about-
seem to be doing anything.
What about the runes themselves?
Touching the axe to the rune
Yes.
itself.
To the ice rune?
Yes.
He takes the great axe and reaches out and touches the ice rune. And as he does, the archway activates. The weapon vanishes and reappears back in Thrym's hands. And this portal, the glowing mist, transforms into churning thunderclouds lit by flashing lightning. And through it, you can see another room beyond the clouds, as well as the sound of rolling thunder filling the temple, loud enough to be heard throughout basically anywhere. The archway seems to have activated.
Head through before it closes, I guess.
Yep.
So all of you, including Harshnag, head through and find yourselves in...
Can we just pull our token over, or are you?
I got it. I'm getting it.
Okay.
Find yourselves in another room.
You have thrown me all the way into the center of that room. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, well, I was sort of grabbing things. Alright. This room, so yeah, you find yourselves deep within the mountain. Beyond the thundering archway lies a hexagonal chamber whose walls rise 50 feet before tapering to a 90-foot high apex. Standing in each corner of the room is a life-size statue of a giant holding up a heavy iron lantern with one raised arm. Each type of giant is represented: hill, stone, frost, fire, cloud, and storm. A cold, magical light radiates from each lantern, illuminating a giant corpse lying on the floor beneath a shroud of frost in the middle of the room. The corpse looks like it has been there for some time, preserved by the cold, and next to the body rests a giant frost-covered morning star.
Do we have any idea who that is? I say to
I'm gonna
Harshnag.
go up and start looking the body over.
Arcana?
Yeah, give me
History.
just looking the body over, or are you trying to identify it?
Looking the body over.
Just give me a perception check.
I ask
11.
Harshnag if he knows who the body is. So.
He shrugs. So the giant is wearing a very finely made breastplate. Has magic about it, and has an opal that has the Ild rune in it. It is a triangular opal, measures about 3 inches on each side, about a half an inch thick, and it has the Ild, the fire rune, shimmering within it. Very similar to the East rune that Farbold is currently holding. And I'm trying to. Sorry, there is also. You can see that. There is a rune-inscribed circle carved on the floor, obscured by frost, and as you approach the giant and sort of look at it, you see the ethereal form of a ghost rising up out of it.
Yeah.
Yay! Time to fight.
I pull my sword, but do not immediately attack.
Oh, I'm just gonna put you closer because you had gone up to inspect.
Oh. I was trying to do an Arcana check on the. That's fine.
On the what? What were you trying to Arcana check?
The rituals. I guess I might have gotten closer. Like the.
This setup.
I was
of the
just
ritual.
trying to figure out if the way the giants were laid out was of significance, but.
They seem to be in sort of an ascending circle, like starting at the hill, going around. They seem to be in an ascending circle of importance.
I was noticing that they seem to have varied handedness, and I wasn't sure if that was relevant.
You're not. It doesn't seem like it's relevant.
Okay.
Um,
It's just annoying to me. Got it.
So, as this spirit sort of climbs out, it appears to be that of a cloud giant. And it sort of, as it rises from the ground, it looks... Who are you? Why are you here?
Hi, my name is Miracle. We're here because we're supposed to be able to help with the ordinating thing, and we're looking for an oracle. I'm sorry, we wouldn't be here except for it's kind of a little bit of an emergency, I think.
If you've come to see
This is
the
Kinvalar
Oracle-
and Firebolt and Firen. We're an adventuring party. This is Harshnag.
And
I like that Jeremy's camera cut out. I know it's unrelated, but
Shit, what
Jeremy's
the
camera
fuck?
went away.
God damn you, Skype! You fucking piece of shit software.
So,
This is what Skype does. It fucks us over.
first, he says, well, if you've come to speak with the Oracle, then you must remove my body and commune with the words beneath. But if you do seek to help giant kind, perhaps my story might be of assistance to you.
I'd love to hear your story. There's no deception in that statement.
No,
He's
no.
enthusiastic about this.
My father and I came to the Eye of Anam seeking wisdom and were told that a great upheaval would upset the balance of power in the world, giving all giants the chance to earn the respect of our gods and bring glory to our race and upset the ordering which I know has happened. The oracle told my father that he could never impress the gods enough to earn their favor, and urged me to step out from beneath his shadow. We fought and my father slew me, but the important aspect of that information is that what has happened is a test. Anam seeks to have our glory as a race restored to us, and that would restore the ordering. What questions you might have for the oracles yourselves in order to make that happen, I do not know, but hopefully my story might help you in seeing the traps that might lay ahead. Also, if you don't mind, it would help me to rest greatly if you would avenge my death. My father is an evil man, and he needs to be stopped.
Who's your dad?
Blagothkus.
Blagothkus.
That name is not in my notes, and I'm certain because it would be spelled Black Lagoon in my notes. Can we do like a history check or something?
You can.
Yeah, what the hell?
9.
Nope.
What's
21.
your...
It's almost like I've been studying this shit.
No, none of you. The name does not seem to be important enough to be one that has been referenced, which falls in line with what apparently the oracle told him. You're not important enough to do this. Go away.
And what's your name?
I am Igeron. Please remove my body, and I will show you how to speak with the oracles. If any of you would like, the items on my body are yours. I have no more use for them. The breastplate will resize to anyone who wants it.
Well, let's move the body first.
Yeah,
and then we can start arguing over.
Yeah,
Who gets what?
It does strike all of you as weird that you've never had a person tell you it's okay to loot their corpse before, and it's very odd. That's harsh.
It sort of brings to mind the question of whether or not it was okay to loot the corpses we didn't have permission to loot, but I'm not thinking about that.
I didn't say no.
Harshnag, not saying no does not imply consent.
That's true. I was
Harshnag,
trying really hard not to say that.
Harshnag comes over and drags the body away, and underneath you see these runes that have been etched into the floor.
I'm assuming Geron explains to us how to.
So, etched into the floor and hidden under a layer of frost that you all very clear away is a 20-foot diameter mithril inlaid circle inscribed with the Kong rune, which, for those of you that speak giant, means king. And the words, "Ask your question and know the truth," in Dethic, which is the Dwarvish script, those of you that read Dwarvish. The Kong rune, which is nearly as big as the circle enclosing it, is often associated with Anam, the Allfather, which Igeron explains. So yeah, and Igeron will basically approach and stand in the circle and ask your question. And you will receive a truthful, thundering answer in the giant tongue. So if the one who asked the question needs to be able to speak the language.
Welp.
Okay.
The good thing is, what question do we ask? Besides, how do we restore the ordning?
Well, we already kind of know how to restore the ordning. It needs to be like bringing glory back to the giant race.
That's a little vague, though.
And Igaron will state, the answers you receive may not, while truthful, are not always specific. So,
And what did
asking...
you ask
Yeah.
the Oracle?
Like I said, we already know
Egron, what
the general
did you
of
ask
that
you?
one, so we probably want something more specific than that.
I never had a chance to ask, but if I had, it would have been what must be done to stop the giants or the ordning, or to stop the chaos currently embroiling the world.
I mean, yes, that would be one. Since we are really going to do some avenging, it might be worth trying to locate.
But
Blagoscus.
only one of us speaks giant, so we probably only get one question.
We got Harshnag.
He speaks around. He indicates around to the lanterns. You have a number of questions equal to the number of lanterns lit.
Oh, cool.
Harshnag will indicate, if one of you speaks our language, it would be best for you to ask the questions.
Cool. Can do.
It's gonna go well.
What are we asking?
So we've got 6 questions.
And
How do we restore the ordning? Or how do we bring glory back to the giants? I mean, besides some kind of all-out war between the giants to achieve glories, or
I mean, how do we?
Stop the chaos.
Yes, how do we stop what's currently going on? Where's Bluffcast? Him.
Blagothicus.
Blackoff. Yeah.
Probably also, depending on the answer to that first one, we may need to figure out where some of the giant leaders are. At least that was the vague impression that Storm Giant, that
Zephyros?
Cloud Giant,
Cloud Giant.
Zephyrus.
Yes.
That was the vague impression Zephyrus seemed to have.
okay, so
Yeah, and
depending,
we may have more follow-up questions depending on how
The first one goes.
the first one
Yeah.
goes.
Agaron speaks out. The answer to the question will be audible to all, though only those who can speak giant will understand it. It doesn't. Whoever wants to can ask the question. I'm sorry if that wasn't clear.
Cool. Yeah. I
Right,
don't.
well,
I don't mind asking, but you guys could also ask if you'd like.
let's start with the key one. How do we stop?
Okay.
what's
So
going on?
I don't know if you know, but once we start asking questions, do we have to ask them continuously or?
No.
Okay.
Ask your question, receive an answer.
Yeah, let's start with that and then think about it and go from there.
You have to very specifically ask the oracle the question as well.
Yeah.
Who wants to ask?
We did. Wait. Did we actually take care of the body, or did we just talk about
Harshnag
it?
pulled it out of the way.
Okay.
Yeah. We physically were probably not strong enough to move the body without assistance.
I mean, if we all put our backs into it.
Harshnag is more than strong enough to do so.
Cloud giants are tall, but they're not super big, and they're relatively thin compared to most other giants because they're not all fighters.
And Harshnag is bulky as fuck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who asks what question?
I'm leaving this up to our giant speaking.
Yes, I'm thinking
Miracle
Miracle's the one who
wants to do
speaks
this, but
giant.
he's giving everyone the opportunity to tell him, no, you can't be friendly about this before
No.
he
No,
does it.
this is
Miracle,
fine.
you are more than welcome to do this.
Okay. Sorry, it's early. I'll go into the center, do whatever I need to do to be asking the Oracle.
Just standing in the circle.
Yep. And how do we... God damn it. We just
Call the
said this
Oracle?
like 20 seconds ago. Yeah, I specifically asking the Oracle. How do we stop the chaos that is occurring as the result of the ordning being broken?
So, as you ask this question, you feel this magic thrum, and the lantern that the hill giant is holding goes out. And as it does, this booming voice in giant echoes through the room, as if it was emanating from everywhere at once. In giant, find the magic conch of the storm giant King Hecaton. Use it to visit Hecaton's court. Root out the evil therein.
Magic conch.
Oh god, is it going to be with a whole bunch of school kids and an insulting book?
Hecaton will translate for those of you not in the circle currently.
Okay.
You mean Nigaron?
Hecaton. I'm sorry, not Hecaton. Harshnag is the one I was trying to say.
Harshnag.
Hecaton is the giant king who is not
I was
here
gonna say
currently.
Hecaton's a storm giant.
Hecaton
If
appears.
Hecaton suddenly showed up, that might
No.
shortcut a lot of things.
No, Harshnag will translate for those of you outside the circle.
So immediate probable follow-up question. Where is the conch?
Yeah.
I will step out of the circle so I can, if I can.
Yeah, you can.
I sort of confirmed that beforehand, but just. So where's the conch? What form does the evil take at the court? Because maybe it's like there's an evil vase, and maybe it's like there's an evil dude lying to Hecaton.
Sure.
I think those two are both good questions. I don't know if we necessarily want to ask both of them.
I mean, I have.
Where is
better
the
question other
court?
than
Though
the
that
bells.
may be something that the conch itself is useful.
You may
Yes,
also
interesting.
wish to ask what happened to King Hecaton, or where he
Oh
is.
yeah, he's missing, isn't he?
Indeed he is.
So that's 3 questions.
Remember,
I
we
mean,
have to
let's
save
say-
one
let's-
question to find out where
Yes.
Aegeron's father is.
So let's vague that the Hecaton one up a bit. Instead of where is or something like that.
How do we find?
find?
Right. That's a good question. How do we find? Can someone put the questions in the chat as we do
Okay.
this?
So we need
How do we find the conch?
where
Didn't we
Where-
get like a vague location of the conch with that question or no?
No.
Okay.
The answer I'll put the answers in chat. The answer was find a magic conch of the storm giant King Hecaton, use it to visit Hecaton's court, root out the evil therein.
I feel like another thing we should probably ask about is there is that giant war weapon from a previous age that we probably don't want stomping on us while it
Yes. What was the name of
presumably
that?
looks
The thing
for
the fire
dragons.
giants are building.
Um,
Like I realize that fixing the ordning will probably
Vonnegut.
solve that because
Vonnegut,
But-
Vonnegut, the Death Titan.
yeah, but just in case just in case they manage to finish building Vonnegut before the ordning gets fixed, we might want to figure out how we can delay and or avert that part. Though, Kimmler, I know your extended family question mark is working on that angle.
Yes.
The people that also randomly had your last name.
The Marshal of Silvery Moon,
Yes.
Right.
who is also an Arasume. Arasume. All right, so the 3 questions that are currently in the chat, I don't know if you guys have more that you wanted to add, are how do we find the conch, how do we find Hecaton, where is Blagothcus?
Probably
Do
also
we want
add
where is
how do we stop
Blagothcus or
Vonnegut?
how do we find Blagothcus?
That one's probably more relevant.
Um,
How do we find Blagothcus? How do we find... how do we prevent Vonnegut from being completed? I think that is all 6 questions.
completion or reawakening, which would be more accurate?
Reawakened is probably better for cryptic wording.
John, would that be accurate from what I know? I know I don't know much, but like magic words.
The completion of Vonnegut would be
Or the reawakening.
it would be completion because it was destroyed. It's a construct. It's a golem.
I know. I just don't know what is the wording for
Either-
golems in this setting.
Either word would work potentially.
Okay.
The reawakening or completion.
I'm trying to be as careful as possible and not be like,
That's fine.
you cannot stop the reawakening because giant constructs don't actually sleep. What the fuck are you talking
you
about?
get
It's
the
probably not a helpful
you get
answer.
the implication that while your question should be specific, there is an amount of interpretation going on with the oracle. So it's not a machine. It is capable of interpreting.
It's not hyperliteral.
No.
As long as we're not asking what its favorite color is.
Yeah.
That would actually be a really nice question. I bet the Oracle doesn't get that question much. I bet
Never.
the Oracle gets all of these important questions
It
and never gets like a how are you doing?
No one ever asks the oracle how it's feeling or what its interests are.
We're
I realize
interested
we
in
have an
you as a
apocalypse to avert,
person,
but
Oracle.
we need to ask the Oracle how they're doing if we have an extra question.
All right, well,
Um
so the next question you're asking is
so Vonnegut is important, but I'm gonna prioritize the
The conch.
actually main, for lack of a better term, main quest stuff, just for now. So next thing I'm gonna ask is how do we find the conch?
the conch is in the clutches of a giant lord.
It's real helpful.
Okay. Follow-up question.
Who is this giant lord that has the conch?
Ding, 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 ding.
Or where is the giant lord that has the conch?
That might be better. Where rather than we can deduce the who afterwards.
just a for my notes question. GM, I probably know this, but would giant lord be the term for the like 6 leader people?
Yes.
Okay. It's even possible that the giant lord that has the conch currently would be Hecaton.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
I think where would be better rather than who.
Yeah.
No, where was already answered. Where is the conch was answered.
No.
Where's the
where's
lore that
giant
has the
lord?
conch?
That's fair.
Where
Yeah,
is the-
so I'm a little bit worried
Interesting-
that the answer to where is the giant lord that has the conch is with the conch.
Interesting
Right.
that you think that he's going to provide a more specific answer when he answered the first one vaguely, but okay.
Yes, that's my concern.
Also, a second lantern, the one being held by the stone giant, goes out.
Yeah, I think.
And I
'cause-
don't like. We actually do have not perfect, but a decent idea where many of the giant lords might be.
Yes, I think finding out who might actually be more relevant because a giant lord's movements are very not subtle if they lead their people.
I mean, apparently some of them aren't right now, but
Just on the basis that if we
the question
you
is how
know
much
where, that might determine who.
Except
we've got 4 questions
giants,
left. So.
giants can move. I think knowing who will allow us to track them a lot easier than knowing where they are now, because then they could just go somewhere else.
Sentient creatures have legs. Who knew?
Not all sentients have legs.
They're just supposed to be walking back and forth in a hallway until they interact with the PCs.
So,
Oh.
third question.
So
Ooh, I feel like.
Okay.
we're not asking things about Morbin. We did that. What's the thing?
Was the next question going to be who is the giant lord with the conch?
I say yeah, sure.
Yeah. Here is that's what I have in terms of giant lords that I may actually know more, but that's what I've got currently. But yeah. Who is the giant lord that has the conch?
So the third lantern goes out, and there's sort of a pause before. Previously, the answers were sort of immediate, and there's sort of a magical boom and pulse as the voice answers again. First, you must prove yourself. When human barbarians came to these lands, they fought our kind and stole our relics, burying them in the ground. The humans built altars to Uthgar, their god-king, atop these relics and surrounded their altars with burial mounds. Go to these mounds. Retrieve one or more of our lost relics and bring them here as tribute. Do this, and your path will be made clear. There are many paths you can take. The more relics delivered, the more paths you will have to choose from. Several evil giant lords stand ready to oppose you. You can ruin all of their plans by defeating just one of them. Which one that is remains to be seen.
That was less vague, but also somehow more vague.
Oh God, I
I don't
hate
know if
dealing
this
with
would be a
oracles.
religion roll or something, but does it seem like we have to go do that and then come back to get the rest of the answers?
I mean, that's what it. Yeah.
It would seem like to get the not the rest of the answers, but the answer to that question
okay.
would be. It seems like to get the answer to which giant lord has the conch. The oracle needs you to do it a solid.
Okay.
Fuck
All
up
right.
Oracle.
Well,
I hate
while
dealing with oracles.
while we're working on that one, how do we find Hecaton seems relevant?
Yeah. Though I'm worried that those two things might be interrelated.
Perhaps,
I
but
don't
if we
think-
confirm that we can learn
Doesn't
a lot by
hurt
having
to
that
ask.
confirmed.
Does that third lantern go out?
Yes.
Yeah, the third lantern went out before the question was answered.
All right. I really wanted to ask the oracle have a nice day or something.
We're
Yeah,
on a little bit of a time.
That's not a have a nice day is not a question. It is a statement,
Okay.
so it should not cause a lantern to go out.
I mean, do you want? Okay, I'll ask about Hecaton.
What question are you asking?
Do we ask where is he or how do we find him?
How do we find him?
I ask, how do we find Hecaton? I guess.
Speak to Sarissa, his youngest daughter. She has a clue to her father's whereabouts, and she needs your help.
I look over at Harshnag. Do you know where that person is?
He shrugs.
Great.
You know, we can probably find out where she is some other way.
Yes,
if we know figure out where the Storm Giant Palace, anything.
I'm fairly certain
Where
I'm fairly certain if we can find a floating floating tower with a wizard's hat on top, we can find out where Sarissa's at. I think Zephyros might know.
Perhaps.
And the fourth lantern goes out.
There's also, depending on what we're looking for, other exposition spells that aren't quite so costly.
All right. Our last two questions should probably be about Vonadod and Blagothkus.
Blagothkus.
Are we spending the rest of our questions now? Okay.
We should at least ask about Blagothkus.
Yes, absolutely. Damn it. I really want to... Okay.
Or actually, before you ask that question, ask the ghost, do you know where would your father go?
He shrugs. I do not know. His castle flies, as do many cloud giant castles. It could be anywhere.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm worried about.
Yeah, so how do we find Blagothkus? Probably a good next question.
That there won't be a really easy way to do that. But yeah. How do we find Blagothkus?
The fifth lantern goes out. His shadow falls on Parnast.
That was much more direct than I expected.
Yeah.
He's not that important. That's exactly why we got a clear answer about that. Yeah, step back out of the circle.
Parnas.
Okay,
Does that sound familiar to anyone?
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Sick. Do we know where Parnas
is that like a major city that
Give
like,
me a
everyone
history
else is
check.
going, oh yeah, that's this place.
17.
None of you have any fucking clue where Parnast is, or what Parnast is. If it's
Though we can look up the library.
However, if it's a town, Fyron, you're pretty confident that the surveyors map and chart makers guild in Waterdeep might know the answer.
Yeah, I know where we can find answers as to where Parnast is.
I mean, there's also a library. We could go back to the library.
That's definitely one of the options. So
Library!
now, Vonadod.
Okay.
How do we prevent the completion of Vonadod, the Death Titan?
I'm just a little worried that that's vague enough that the answer is going to be don't let all of the pieces get to the same place.
I mean, that might be true, but if that's all we need to do, we already have one, I think. No, we don't. Never mind. We need to find one. But that's a good place to start, at the very least.
Yeah, that's not wrong.
Okay.
If all we need to do is keep one safe, that's good to know.
So with one lantern still lit, you step back in the circle and ask.
The thing that was in the chat about stopping the completion of...
The lantern goes out, leaving you in darkness save for the torches you're carrying. And the voice announces...
And the sword.
Do you have the sword drawn?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do. So yeah,
It's light.
The soft moonlight of the sword.
It's light, and we have humans in the group.
And the answer comes: should the Titan be reconstructed, there will be no stopping it.
We asked her to stop.
In order to prevent its completion, one must stop the giant seeking to complete it.
Okay.
So take out Zalto. Got that.
Yeah. Oh, we already know who it is. Great. I thought we were going to make a friend and ask them.
And as the final torch goes away, that is all the answers I have for this day.
All right. Have a nice day. I hope you're doing well.
And the archway behind you continues to swirl with storm clouds, indicating the room that you just came from. And
I look over at Igaron. We'll certainly do what we can to avenge your death.
I appreciate it.
We just have to find out where Parnast is and make our way there. You wouldn't happen to know, I say to Igaron.
He shakes his head.
Nothing's ever easy, is it?
I find that to be truthful. Harshnag reaches down and sort of pries the breastplate and jewel off of Igaron's body, and walks back through the archway.
Okay, so there's a difference between practical magic and useful magic. This falls firmly in the thing of practical, but challenging to actually use magic.
The Oracle?
Divine exposition in general.
Yeah. Do you guys follow Harshnag back to the
Miracle
archway?
answers
Yes.
the voice in the sky.
Yeah.
Alright.
Dealing with oracles sucks.
So you follow Harshnag back through.
The oracle seemed nice.
He sort of dumps the items that he pulled off Igaron's body onto the ground.
I'll look him over.
Look at the jewel, the opal, whatever.
Sure. At first glance, the opal seems to be very similar to the ice shard that you have, and probably functions a similar way. It probably gives some sort of benefit to one who's attuned, but you need to be attuned to find out. The breastplate seems to be a very good breastplate. It is, in fact, a +2 breastplate.
Well, damn.
Yeah. Well, I can't use it.
Only one of us actually.
Breastplate is
medium armor.
medium armor, so 2 of you can use it.
Yeah,
And
I can
what
use
those
it. It's
two
just
has
it may actually reduce my armor class. Actually, no, I'm wearing shit armor, and my dex is actually a +2, so it would probably increase my armor class.
It would certainly increase your armor class.
A breastplate.
Yeah.
Is hang on.
I would just have to check to make sure none of my ranger things are like you can't be wearing heavier armor.
If I could get my pages to not stick together, a breastplate gives you 14 plus a maximum of 2 of your dex modifier to your AC and does not impose disadvantage on stealth checks. A +2 breastplate gives 16 plus your dex modifier, which is a maximum of 2. So if your dex mod is 2, it would give you an 18 AC.
If the
lot higher
ghost
than-
of the person who used to have it does not mind,
He actively
Which
said
he
take
seemed-
it.
Yeah.
he actively said take it. I'm going to take that. I don't feel like
So-
I'm.
You sort
I
of
will.
Sorry,
go ahead.
pick this giant-sized breastplate up, and as you pick it up, it shrinks down to your size.
Yay for magic items. Cool. Oh.
I will. I know that it might not get me anything more than we got on the last one, but I will go ahead and try and arcana this
Sure.
thing.
Identify such a really good spell.
23. Meh.
Well, so looking at the opal, it's definitely magical. It's of the same kind of magic that the shard that Farbolt has is.
Right.
And it would require attunement to it to determine its full capabilities.
Actually, Kevlar,
But
did you check?
you can determine that both the shard and the rune and this opal are quite powerful magic.
Okay.
Actually, Kindler, did you check that spell book that you found for any spells that might pre-exist inside of it?
I did not. Open and start flipping.
It has an extra. It just so happens to have an extra 2 third level and 3 first level spells that you do not already have. Or,
Of
sorry,
your choice,
sorry,
okay.
2 third level, 3 second level, and 4 first level spells that you don't already have.
For
Is that
first
like
level.
All of
spells
and all of them are spells from XGE.
Four first level,
4 first
3
level,
second,
4 first. Sorry, yeah, 4 first level, 3 second, 2 third.
2 third.
All of them are from
do you
XGE.
know what
Are they
spells are
specific spells,
automatically,
or am I?
That you get to choose.
But all
So
of them have to be from
identify
Xanatars.
is not one of them.
Yeah, because they're all
It
from
has to be from
Xanatars,
XG.
so-
Yeah.
They all from XGE.
So you get to choose some Xanathar spells. That's cool.
Yeah.
Whee!
Actually, I think Identify is in Xanathars, isn't it?
No, it's
No,
a
it's
fire
Nothing from
Xanathar.
the core
I know.
book
It's,
is
I was
duplicated.
wondering if they duplicated any spells. Oh well, but yeah, no, they are all from XGE. None of them.
Not from
none of them
core.
are from the core.
Yeah, they duplicated some spells from the Elemental Evil Player's Guide, but
That
because
was
the core
it.
book is always available, they
That
don't
was
need to
it.
duplicate anything from the core book.
Especially because I believe Identify is in the standard edition that
Yeah,
is
it's in the-
sort of free.
Yeah, it is.
Um,
But yeah. So no, Identify is not among them. But you do get to pick some new spells that once you transfer your spells over to this one. Because it's hard to it's hard on a random item roll. I'm not going to then go and randomly roll more spells.
That's fair.
So on a sort of half-related note, this is a setting question.
Yes.
Is it possible to like purchase an Identify
Yeah.
in a town or something?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Um,
We do have a fair amount of money. We could try that when we get back, though. Because I actually speak giant, I am going to look at one of the little things that we were looking at before.
yeah, I mean it has the opal has the rune of Ild, which is fire, in it, sort of shimmering within it, and as you hold it, it is warm to the touch. And then the icy
And-
rune has Is, which is
I'm fairly certain they are magic.
Yeah, you're fairly certain they're magic.
Well, attuning to them may tell us something.
So
By the way, does the horn require attunement?
No, the horn does not require attunement.
So
Does
I'm just
the armor
gonna be
require attunement?
No, the armor does not require attunement.
I'm gonna be weird. And since they are random spells from Xanathars, I'm just gonna randomly roll the number of spells for each level
There you go.
and figure out which ones I've got.
That works for me.
You said it's 16 plus dex, correct?
So that
For the
would
armor?
be
Yes, the breastplate is 16 plus
five.
16 plus dex to a maximum of 2.
I'm assuming we're taking a rest so that people can attune to things.
That's probably fair to
take
say.
a short break.
Yeah, so you guys take a short rest and attune. Farbolt, I think you're attuning to the ice shard.
Yeah, unless not anyone has any objections.
Nope.
Is anyone
Yeah.
attuning to the opal?
I will if no one else does.
And once you know what they are, you can feel free to share and then
Yeah.
rearrange if you want. So, Jeff, the shard of the East rune is now in your journal, and Aaron, the opal of the Ild rune is now in your journal.
Gives you frigid touch. As an action, you can touch a body of water and freeze the water up to a 10-foot radius.
That's cool.
Frost touch, you can have frost friends. You have resistance to fire damage. Icy mantle. As an action, you can As an action, you can touch yourself or another creature with water on your finger. The water creates an icy mantle of protection.
That is so fitting. The tiefling is happy.
And wow.
Yeah, the shard the shard has an amount of utility that might work with other people, but the opal also does the same thing, just differently.
So you
Yeah.
you pull
So
what,
basically,
Jeremy?
with the opal, you get
I just
extra
know.
cool fire
Yeah.
stuff, which technically is redundant, so I'm keeping it.
So, just for the viewers, the Opal of the Ildrune gives you the ability to ignite, which, as an action, you can ignite an object within 10 feet of you. The object must be flammable, and the fire starts in a circle no longer than 1 foot in diameter. You get Fire's Friend, which gives you resistance to cold damage.
I hope you got some hot peppers on you, Jeremy.
Fire Tamer. As an action, you can extinguish any open flame within 10 feet of you. You choose how much of the fire is extinguished in that radius. And the Gift of Flame. You can transfer the opal's magic to a non-magical item, a weapon or a suit of armor, by tracing the Ildrune there with your finger. The transfer takes 8 hours of work that requires the two items to be within 5 feet of each other. At the end, the opal is destroyed, and the rune appears in red on the chosen item, which gains a benefit based on its form. A weapon deals an extra 1d6 fire damage and is now considered a magic weapon. And armor is now considered a rare magic item that requires attunement and gives you resistance to cold damage.
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep it as an opal. Shocking.
That makes the most sense. The Shard of the East rune gives you Frigid Touch, which lets you touch a body of water and freeze a 10-foot radius sphere. You can't use that again until you finish a short or long rest, though. Frost Friend, which gives you resistance to fire damage. Icy Mantle, which you can give somebody an Icy Mantle of protection that for the next minute, if you take bludgeoning, slashing, or piercing damage, the damage is reduced to 0 and the mantle is destroyed. Again, you can't use that. You can only use that once per short or long rest. Winter's Howl, which lets you cast Sleet Storm as a spell save DC of 17. Once per short or long rest. And Gift of Frost, which is the same thing as Gift of Flame, but frost, and you can apply it to a cloak or to a set of boots. A cloak becomes a rare magic item that requires attunement, and while wearing it you have resistance to fire damage and advantage on dexterity stealth checks made while in snowy terrain. And boots, while wearing it you ignore difficult terrain while walking and can walk on water.
I want those boots.
I mean, the shard is arguably better, but...
Yeah. So
That's
Miracle's just gonna test out increased fire abilities. So take out a torch, light it, unlight it a few times.
Yeah, Miracle holds a torch and just sort of stares at it, and it goes.
And combine that with my natural thaumaturgy, so it changes color and stuff. You know, just giving the human a headache.
Just being like a rave strobe, it's changing.
It's a rave strobe torch now.
I gotta admit that if I had the opal, I'd be doing the exact same thing.
check out my devil sticks.
So, for reference, these spells that ended up being in the book are first level are Absorb Elements, Catapult, Earth Tremor, and Snare.
Seem good.
Second level is Dragon's Breath, Earthbind, Shadow Blade, and Warding Wind. And third level is Enemies Abound in Wall of Water.
So that was 4
That was 4. You're right.
3
That's
second
my. Which one is? So not.
So the first 3 then that you listed: Dragon's Breath, something.
Yeah. Hold on. Yes. So not Warding.
Wind. Wasn't that 3?
No, they've listed 4.
So Shadow Blade and Warding Wind. Yeah, right.
It was. Let's see.
Dragon's Breath, Earthbind, and Shadow Blade.
Yeah. Warding Wind was the last one that I rolled out of those.
Yeah.
So
and then so Dragon's Breath, Shadow Blade, and Earthbind. And what was the third level? The 2 third levels?
Enemies Abound, which is the greatest name for a spell ever, and Wall of Water.
I love Enemies Abound so much.
So yeah, you have an increase, and a couple of those are actually really good for you.
Yep.
Enemies Abound is particularly good for you, actually.
As is Shadow Blade.
Shadow Blade is okay.
I mean, it's relevant for like a fighty type, or on theme at least.
Yeah, you take, and that's when you take the short rest to transfer all your spells over to the new book.
Yeah.
You do. That's easy enough. And now your new book can't be destroyed.
Yay!
So
'Cause-
you could give that to 5, and nothing would happen.
5 isn't here.
I know, but if 5 was nothing. Anyways.
Enemies Abound is a beautiful spell because it's just like all of you fight each other.
It is. It's pretty good. All right. So you all have a short rest. You've learned what your new items do. And at the end of your rest, a Harshnag leans down and pulls out a map. In my travels, I have often come across the Utgard barbarians, and as such, I have a map that indicates where their spirit mounds are. He hands you this map that is in all of your journals now. It's Handout Harshnag's map.
Well, slight question that just because Miracle would probably remember.
Mhm.
The barbarians were the people that we rescued the lady, or we killed the people coming in?
Both.
Okay.
That's one of the tribes, at least. There are 9 Uthgard barbarian tribes in the north.
All right. So I was right to have that as the description in both parts of my notes. Got it.
And they sort of say, I will wait for you here in the temple, guarding it and the portal from any further incursion. You can use this map to determine which spirit mound you wish to travel towards. They are all marked.
Okay.
So I know there's one.
So is the map all actually in Giant?
It is both in Giant and translated to Common, just like it looks on the map.
Okay.
I remember there was one that near the
Actually, that's
Evermoors
great.
that we were warned
it's a
about.
strategic tool now. Okay, so I'm assuming it's the X's, not the places.
Yeah, it's the X's.
There is one nearby. However, Great Worm sounds not fun. But we probably want to do as many of these things as possible. You mentioned you had somewhere that we might be able to get information about stuff. Which thing?
Parnast. We could head to the guild of map makers and cartographers. If it's a place, they'll know where it's at.
Where is the guild of cartography?
In Waterdeep.
Yeah, Waterdeep. Which I believe. Do we have a teleport to Waterdeep?
There is a teleport in Waterdeep, but you have to get to one of the other circles first.
So
Do we
just need to get to
know
one of our portal
where-
circles.
Unless, which I don't think he does, unless Kinvalar can cast
I do
teleportation circle.
not.
That's a much higher level spell. Than
Yeah, circle of teleportation is only 4th level.
It's,
Oh,
fifth,
is it?
it's fifth level. It's
Is
fifth
it 5th
level.
level? Never mind. Never mind.
I'm
Teleport itself.
assuming I know where Waterdeep is because Waterdeep's a big city.
Yeah,
or
Waterdeep
something.
is on the Sword Coast. It's south. It's south of Neverwinter.
Okay. That's kind of a long way, and there's not exactly many of the burial
Usually-
mounds in between.
We just need to reach one of our teleportation circles to get there.
That's true.
there's a few of the mounds that are, well, we can make them on our way.
The closest teleportation circle is in Mirabar.
Yeah,
Yes.
we could
head to the Great Worm on our way to Mirabar.
Yeah. Wait, which one's Mirabar?
It'd be a slight detour east and then circling back around west to head to Mirabar.
Or we could head back down towards Silvery Moon and possibly also hit the one in Stone.
Then there's one that we were warned about in the Evermoors. I think that'll be Shining White
No, Flint Rock.
or Flint Rock. Is that Flint Rock?
Flint Rock is the one you were warned about in Yoder. which
Oh, okay.
Yarder also has teleportation circle.
So either way, we've got to go looking for trouble in the barbarian burial mound. Just a matter of choosing which ones.
Yep.
Yeah. So what was said was that the more of these we do, the more information we get. And given how vague things were, we probably want to hit as many of these as possible.
Yeah, we'll want to hit more than one.
Specifically, the statement was the more you have many paths before you, the more relics you return, the more paths will be made known.
Yes. Which I am interpreting, you can tell me if this doesn't make sense, as the level of detail or possibilities the Oracle presents will be determined by the relics.
That is certainly a way you can interpret it.
Say that like I'm wrong, but I don't care because I'm not playing a smart person.
You think the DM would give you a straight answer?
I like the Oracle. It talks like I do.
I'm out of caffeine.
You are all currently in the Hall of the Eye of the All-Father, having just finished another short rest. Where are you setting out for now?
Do we head straight for the nearest burial ground, which would probably
Let's head to Great Worm Cavern next. You could try Raven Rock after that. I don't know.
Well, let's start with the Great Worm Cavern, and we'll go from there. Because
Okay. I'm assuming like the map detail is enough that we can navigate in the correct direction from where we are.
Yeah. So you head back down towards the Valley of Kedron, which is the frozen valley that you sort of found where you found the entrance to the thing. But this time you are without Harshnag. And it takes a couple of days, I think, to travel down. I'm trying to remember how long it took you guys to get up there from the valley, which requires checking additional information. There it is. Yeah. So I'm going to need some folks to roll. I need 2 D100s to be rolled.
Dibs.
All right,
Both of you roll one. Oh, Aaron and Jeremy.
36.
97.
36 and 97. 36.
we all die in an
Please
avalanche.
tell me there's some lost people.
97.
We are attacked by a white dragon.
97 doesn't necessarily mean worse. Maybe.
Doesn't necessarily mean better either.
Okay. All right. So, roll me another D100, somebody.
Eat. 71.
All right. On the first day, as you guys are traveling south out of the mountains, you come across a herd of 13 reindeer.
Beautiful reindeer.
They sort of move around you, but they don't.
Is
try
that
to attack you.
golden horn one still in the middle of them again?
There is
Okay.
not a golden horned one.
How are we doing on rations?
Considering that you have a ranger that can cast Goodberry, good.
Actually, it should be more. Considering that we tend to get into scrapes and the ranger gives you good berries, good, because they're filling.
Yes, but they're good berries.
That's up to you guys. How many of your rations have you actually eaten rather than eating good berries? I know a couple of days you guys have done
Probably
that. So.
2, because I can cast it even on the days where we don't fight.
You guys, I know that a couple of times Kinvalar at the very least has gone through his rations
Yes.
instead of eating good berries.
I'm just saying.
Kinvalar really wants to try
I
out his new
actually
spells on the
technically
elves.
have an animal companion.
New spells? What are you talking about? This is simple. One lightning bolt, and we've got enough food to last us a while.
Pre-cooked.
I don't think we should be taking from the lives of others when we have ready access to our own food that is not going to cost anyone any amount of pain.
Also, isn't Kinvalar a vegetarian?
I don't think so.
He has previously stated being a
Kinvalar
vegetarian.
was
Did I?
snarky about being a
I don't
vegetarian
know,
in
it's
Miracle. That
freaking-
doesn't necessarily
You're
need to be
correct.
true.
Whether or
No,
not
you are correct.
whether or not it's
You
true,
got to
I don't know.
remember, this game happens starts at 7. We get together at 6:30, but 7 in the morning on a Sunday for me.
That's fine.
So
Yeah.
the things that I make up about my character mid-game may not be remembered in successive weeks. That's why you're all here to remind me of them.
Yep.
So he does not mass slaughter like bolt Santa's reindeer.
So you all, assuming Farbolt isn't going to go do that, you all let the reindeer go by. And the next day, as you're traveling, you all do get a long rest. So if you want to rearrange your prepared spells for the day, Kinvalar, you can do so.
I just haven't put them all in yet.
The next day, you come across nothing because you rolled nothing on the encounter table.
That's good. Nothing is acceptable.
And you find your way back into the valley that you started your adventure towards the eye in. According to the map, the Great Worm Cavern, the Great Worm Burial Mound, will be somewhere to the north of the valley. And so you all presumably start making your way there.
Mm.
Let me take a look at the map real quick. Yeah, okay. And so, eventually, over the course of your travels through the valley, you find yourselves looking at what appears to be a spacious cavern at the northeast end of the Valley of Kedron. Thick ice hang over the pillared entrances to the cavern, and it appears to be sort of built almost solidly out of a frozen portion of the mountain. You are far enough away that you can see the cavern, but you can't see into it yet when you first spot it in the distance.
First thing, make sure, look around for tracks of, has there been recent activity here? Because I'm assuming a lot of this is snow covered.
Give me a survival check.
Not terribly good at this.
I mean, it's snow. There's lots of snow. It's hard to find tracks in snow. Unless anybody else wants to give me a survival check to see if they can find tracks.
Sure, I have survivalness.
Survival!
Actually, I do not have survivalness.
I
but
mean,
I
I'm
will roll it
technically
anyway.
a ranger. I should probably be
3.
the one doing a
5.
12. I technically did best.
You all find some tracks in the snow. They're
Each other's
yours,
tracks.
but you find tracks in the snow.
I don't know. Do I find my tracks with a 3?
Yes, you find you don't find your tracks. You find Farbolt's tracks, who is following your tracks.
Oh,
So
okay.
sort of a circle.
We're just walking in a circle.
I found something. Hey, I found something too.
Speaking of, I have a bat.
Yes, you
That's
do.
gonna fly.
It is currently daylight out. The bat is not happy. It is.
It
It
might
is,
not be.
Wait,
It is
It might not be
awake.
happy, but not hindered.
It is awake, but it is not happy.
Look,
How are the bat and
I
Relic-
had to find the animal companion in a thing, and also the bio does not say anything about.
No,
Yeah, there are bats that are out in daytime. It's just not a happy one.
you know, it's not strictly speaking nocturnal, but it's not happy to be outside during the day.
Right. How do
That
the bat?
is like.
How are the
Look, I
bat?
can let you
Relic-
go if you want, but I do have to find
Sorry.
someone else.
Kindlar, what are you saying? What are you trying to say repeatedly?
How are the bat and relics getting along?
Like a good
Fine.
question.
Relix doesn't really care about it.
Okay.
It's too big to be prey and too uninteresting to be anything else. So
Yeah. Unfortunately, the bat is nearly as large as we are. So probably
Yeah, I
not.
was less concerned about. Less concerned about relics being aggressive towards the bat,
in the other way around.
and the other way around happening.
I have exceptional training now.
Fair enough.
I like that when I search for a bat thing, I get a batlith.
That makes sense in that it doesn't at all but internet.
Yep. Anyways, so yeah, so you sort of a ways away from this burial mound, with this spirit mound. Are you going to approach, or are you just going to look at it from a distance for a while?
I personally, I'm just kind of wary because this is desecrating a barbarian burial mound. They're not going to be happy about it if they find us.
On second thought, let's not go to the burial mound. It's a silly place.
They did desecrate a giant temple first.
Yeah,
so-
I was gonna say.
They started.
I'm not going to change the fact that they're not going to be
I
happy.
feel like I have some grounds on this one. No, this is a burial mound that technically was built on top of something else.
Okay, keep in mind, I'm not worried about the ethics of what we're doing. I'm worried about the fact that these barbarians aren't going to be happy we're doing this.
Farbolt,
Do I see anyone here?
truly stunned that you are unconcerned about the morality of this situation.
Give me a perception check, Miracle.
And Frostwing is also going to look around. I don't care you're unhappy. You're my animal companion. If you don't like it, you can leave. Perception, you said?
This giant
You
unhappy.
are the
Yes, perception.
worst ranger.
It's this giant unhappy Golbat behind you. Perception, not persuasion.
Oh, sorry. Apparently
Frostwing
not
doesn't see
trying
shit.
very hard.
Frostwing is blind. It's snowblind. Snowblind can't live without you.
But 4 and 2.
I think perhaps
the-
2 is a natural one.
It's noon and the snow is very white, and it's hard to get a good look at anything really.
let's see perhaps if we
You're not
can't.
supposed to be able to be snowblind. You echolocate.
Are you yelling at your companion?
Yes.
No, it's more like this casual conversation. Like, you echolocate. How are you blinded by the snow?
It's very soft. It doesn't reverberate well.
Yeah. Are any of the rest of you trying to look?
Could have gone looking for.
You should have gone
Yeah.
looking for a rat.
I am going to be looking around. $19.
So
Just because I should probably say this every day. Good berries were redistributed.
what is that? So with a 19 Farbolt, you do see some movement inside the cave. It doesn't seem like a lot. It seems like a good portion of the hunting party appears to not be in. There are some warriors that you can tell just sort of moving around, but you can't see very much beyond that.
Perhaps, if possible, we try and solve this peacefully, rather than running straight into bloodshed.
Hello,
can
would you let us go in there and desecrate your burial, your graves of your ancestors?
I think, rather than desecrating the graves of their ancestors, note that this relic does not strictly belong to them. It's been buried among their own, but
recover a lost artifact and preserve the sanctity something of the grave.
also
By removing what does not belong.
Also stop giants from potentially destroying everything, including their burial mound.
That works.
I can do that. I actually wait. Do we know what language they probably speak? We've met a few at this point.
They speak some weird variant of language that none of you recognize or know.
Unfortunately, despite my definitely pretty good linguist skills, I don't speak that particular language.
From what you've heard, it seems to be it doesn't seem to be a language it seems to be a language specific to the tribe.
But didn't the barbarian we ran into, didn't she speak common at least?
Yeah,
she at least understood us.
It seems like they can speak common, but their primary language doesn't appear to be common.
It usually is polite to approach people in their native language, but if we can't,
their language is not shared with anyone who isn't their tribe, as far as I know.
Yeah.
So, I'm all for a peaceful solution if we can do it.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what I can perhaps do.
Though, keep in mind, they may not like... Looks at Fireball. You can cast spells too, right?
Nothing terribly offensive.
Just as a reminder, they don't like spellcasters, and I'm pretty sure we're all casters. I mean, I don't look it. I'm a hunter.
Right.
I'm not unsympathetic to the perspective, but
perhaps.
Okay. So who wants to take the lead?
I'll step forward on this one.
Okay.
All right.
Posh Noble Paladin.
All right. So you guys stride forward, openly displaying your arms and armament.
And my weapons are all sheaths and like not anywhere near drawn.
Yeah.
How much? What's the terrain? Is this like open terrain, trees, rocks? What's...
Pretty open and rocky and snowy.
I will leave the bat a little ways back because I feel like a giant bat screams adventuring party more than travelers. Sorry.
So, as you approach, you see there are these four large pillars. The spirit mound of the Great Worm Tribe of the Utgard Barbarians is inside a spacious cavern at the northeast end of the Valley of Kedron, deep in the spine of the world. Thick ice hangs above the pillared entrance to the Great Worm Cavern, and the interior walls of the place are covered with an icy glaze and lined with massive icicles that gleam and glitter in reflected light. The walls are fairly slippery, it looks like, from as you approach. The cavern floor is a sheet of slippery ice, flanked by 70-foot high ledges of rock, atop which stand two totem poles of chiseled ice with carvings that resembled winged snakes. The walls of the ledges are riddled with caves in which the Great Worm Tribe members live. Natural steam vents in the rocks keep the caves warm throughout the year, which you notice as you enter. It's actually substantially warmer inside the cave as you step beyond those pillars than you'd think it should be. Above, on the ledges, you notice as you approach by these two totems are sort of four what obviously look like warriors with spears sort of at the ready, who, upon seeing your approach, stand and sort of prepare to defend. They don't look like they're instantly going to attack, but they do have spears at the ready.
So upon entering, I just kind of put hands up. Hold! We come with no ill intent. We come to speak with whoever may be in charge here and have a conversation of dire import on the matters in these lands. and threats that wander about.
Give me a persuasion check.
I would like to use my Emissary of Peace.
What does that do?
I have my Channel Divinity. I get +5 on all of my persuasion checks for the next 10 minutes.
There you go. Use your channel divinity to get +5.
So this goes from +7 to +12. So that's 18.
Okay.
That's nice.
The warriors holding their spears sort of lower them, speak amongst each other in the guttural language that you've come to understand is their own unique thing. And call out. As they do after a few minutes, a elderly woman wearing tribal gear approaches from the lower levels between these ridges. Who are you, then, that would come armed and armored into this sacred place?
We come only with the arms that are necessary for the road, I assure you. My name is Fyron Altorian. I come from the lands to the far west, and we have come on...
South.
Sorry, Waterdeep is west.
South.
It's
Come from a
southwest.
land down.
Waterdeep is south from here.
Sorry, to the far south. It is also on the western coast.
Yeah,
so-
but the coast goes like this, and Waterdeep's here, and you guys are here.
Yeah, either way. I come from the lands of the far south. And we come on a quest of import to help prevent the rampaging chaos caused by the giants that have become unrestful.
And what makes you think what you seek lies here?
An oracle has told us that the object we may seek has long ago been buried among the mountains of the Uthgard.
Come,
We
speak
would
to our altar. It will judge you worthy of whether or not you are worthy of our resistance.
as you wish.
And the warriors sort of flanking, spears still at the ready, watch as you pass underneath them. And she leads you further into the cavern. You see an altar about rising from the back of the cave is a triangular promontory of ice-covered rock, 120 feet above the cavern floor at its peak. Upon it stands an altar of frost-covered stone, carved in the shape of a coiled serpent with great wings. The altar represents Elrim, the great worm. Here, as you approach, you in particular, Fyron, as you get roughly within 20 feet of it, you hear a voice telepathically reach out to you. Communicating in your native tongue. You there. I sense the good within your heart. What do you seek?
I seek to bring peace to these lands. There is an artifact hidden in these mounds that will allow me to learn more of the danger that has plagued the giants and caused them unrest and caused them to rampage across innocent lands. I would seek it to further this quest to bring peace to the giants and thus peace to the land.
I can tell you do not lie. The great worm tribe has fallen under the sway of an evil chieftain named Wormblood. If you could slay this chieftain, I will reward you for this deed.
Is this Wormblood beyond redemption?
He is. He is currently away seeking a missing concubine who fled to the north.
Then I shall deal with him as is just.
Give me an intelligence save.
Meow.
As this entity, whatever it is, impresses upon your mind an image of this Wormblood.
14.
You recall that the image you're being presented is one of the barbarians that you killed at the Giant's Temple.
He is already dead.
Truly?
He was at the same temple where I traveled to seek the oracle. There was violence, and he did not last.
Then you shall have your reward. And from within this altar, this massive, you're sort of looking at this massive winged snake. A quite real and living winged snake melts out of the altar, appearing before all of you.
Wave high.
It's give me a wisdom saving throw, all of you.
Oh boy.
Oh, good. That's my
I rolled a
best.
2, which gives me a 10.
That's
9.
my bet. Oh, actually, that's not. I do not have a 10.
12.
18.
So, except for Kenvalar, the other three of you are basically awed by this creature. You're not harmed or any way, but you feel an innate sense of reverence that
I mean, I was already going to like kneel and bow my head
that
anyway.
this sort of you're not forced to do anything, but you have this sort of divine reverence, sort of.
I
You're
wave high
unable to resist.
respectfully.
Yeah.
I wave high less casually.
Kenvalar, you can tell this is a being of power. You're not sort of awed by it, but you can definitely tell there's something. You've never encountered something like this before, but all of you can make nature checks if you want, see if you know what it is.
Also, that was actually like in Kenvalar's case, that was actually a 21 because he's also within my aura.
14 on a nature roll.
15?
Also 15.
16.
So this you can all tell. You've never met one, obviously, but you have heard stories of coatls. Coatls are benevolent serpentine beings of great intellect and insight. Their brilliantly colored wings and gentle manners speak to their celestial origins. They were created as guardians and caretakers by a benevolent god not worshipped since the dawn of time, and which is forgotten now by all but the coatls themselves. Most of the divine mandates given to these beings have long since been fulfilled or failed, but a number of them still watch over ancient power, awaiting the fulfillment of some sort of prophecy or safeguarding the heirs of creatures they once guided and protected. You imagine that in this particular case, this one is a protector of the barbarians that reside here. And as it makes itself visible, all of the barbarians immediately drop to a knee.
I don't like
and avert their gaze.
Scoff, but
I mean,
I'll
Fire
follow
has
Firen's
also
lead,
Fire has also Fire has
Fire
also
will
kneeled
drop
his
to
head.
one
No,
knee.
no, like regardless of what you guys do, all the barbarians immediately drop to knee and avert gaze. This is their god basically being made manifest.
I mean, Firen has also done so. He would have done so even if he hadn't failed that save.
Yeah.
Ah,
And again, failing to save
mean-
doesn't mean you have to. It just means that you are filled
Yeah.
with reverence.
Kindler
it's
just
more of
gives
like
it a
doing what
Kindler is
the
a
person
sun elf.
reading the conversation says sort of thing, even with reference, but
It's kind of like almost a
Kindler is a sun
reflexive
elf. Of course, he
motion.
doesn't kneel.
Almost a reflexive
And
motion. Farfel will
all-
kneel, but
you
won't
all-
avert his gaze.
You all hear in your minds, and you imagine that the barbarians are also hearing. These heroes have done this tribe a great service. The evil of your leader, Wormblood, has been ended. As such, I grant them a divine boon, and ask that you aid them in their tasks. And as it sort of rephases into the statue, you all feel this divine warmth within you, as you are granted. Where is it? Hang on.
Boon of the Great Worm.
No. You are all granted a charm of restoration. You feel this warmth, and then you all look, and upon your forearm, each of you see a mark of a coatl, sort of a symbol, a divine tattoo, if you will, separated out into 6 steps. into sort of six sections, and you innately know that you have received a charm that has 6 charges. You can use an action to expend some of its charges to cast one of the following spells: Greater Restoration for 4 charges, or Lesser Restoration for 2 charges. Once all of its charges have been expended, the charm vanishes from you.
Can you put that in
Yeah.
handout or chat?
I will put it in the chat in a moment.
Cool.
So, that has happened, and the quaddle sort of fades back into the statue. The elder woman looks up as it leaves. What assistance can we provide you?
There was a as Taran kind of stands, and he really can't help himself but smiling really broadly. But there's a giant artifact buried within the mound.
I believe you'll find it is that. And she points. At the back of the cave, behind the altar, hangs a giant crescent-shaped gong in a crude stone frame.
I thought you were going to say a conch, but...
Gong. It's a circular disc, 13 feet in diameter, and it looks like it was once a shield, but it's broken and missing a chunk of it. It looks like it weighs probably upwards of 200 pounds, and it is made of red dragon scales bolted to a beaten copper frame. The ropes hanging... It's sort of hanging by ropes currently.
So it looks like it can be carried, though?
I mean, it looks like a giant shield, so... It's roughly 250 pounds. You could theoretically carry it if you can carry 250 pounds.
We have like 4 bags of holding.
It's too big to fit in the bag of holding.
Yeah, we would need a portable hole.
It's 13 feet in diameter. The bag of holding's opening is not that wide.
Okay.
Could I hate to ask this of you, but could I ask your assistance as well in bringing this to the temple in the mountains, the giant oracle temple?
We do not have the manpower to spare and maintain our guard on the mound.
I understand.
And you sort of look around and you see, except for the 4 warriors, everyone here are elderly or children.
I understand. We'll find our own way to get this back.
Of course, yes.
I mean, fortunately, this isn't that far away.
It's true. Although
Actually,
I wonder.
I think I might have. One of my useless spells might actually be useful in this instance. Give me a second. No. Unless I could talk some bears into helping us.
Unless we have a draft animal of some kind.
I can try.
We did pass some reindeer along the way.
You do know there are reindeer in the area.
I mean,
We can construct a makeshift pallet and just drag it behind.
do you mind if we ask some of the local reindeer to help us with that?
We can certainly ask for assistance from local wildlife.
Do you cut the
Okay.
gong down?
I very carefully try and lower it with everyone's help, if
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah.
It can be
I'll
dragged.
ritual cast.
Like, the ground is ice, so dragging it out of the cave is pretty easy.
Yeah, we'll try and drag it along with us until we can find some reindeer and.
I'll ritual cast find animals because reindeer tend to be in herds.
Yeah.
Reindeer,
And look
elk,
for reindeer.
something.
Yeah, you can find reindeer and elks nearby. Yeah.
Nearest herd of reindeer or elks or whatever else might be helpful. Speak
just
with
step
animals,
away real
ask
quick.
if they
Grip.
might be willing to help us carry a thing because the giant
It doesn't.
Apocalypse?
It doesn't. You're nice enough. It doesn't take much to convince
Okay.
them to help. Reindeer are pretty chill.
Thank you. Yeah, they can help us.
Perfect.
So yeah, you get the reindeer to help you drag the shield back up to the eye of the Allfather. Yeah, you get there, and as you arrive up at the steps, Harshnag, sort of patrolling the outside, sees you and comes out and retrieves the shield for you.
Thank you.
Would you horribly mind? I don't know how long this journey is going to take, but do you have anything to do but guard this temple for now?
No, I will stay here until if you are not yet done. He says, indicating the shield. This is enough to receive an answer, if you wish.
It is.
Yes.
We
so
could get
the
more of an
many
answer,
paths we
right?
might. My concern is that the first path might not be the best path, so we may want more paths before us.
Very well. I will continue to guard the temple then. And he sets it down.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And I will say thank you to the reindeer, and I'll give them. I don't know if reindeer like good berries, but I'll give them
they'll eat 'em.
something.
They will eat the good berries.
Yeah. I'll give them good berries. I'll just mark off that spell.
All right. Yeah, you give them some good berries, and they head back on their way. And with the first relic delivered of the 9 that you've been told about, that is where we're going to end our game today. So, say goodbye, everybody that's here.
Bye.
Bye.
Just 2 of us.
Goodbye.
Bye.